What's up, people? Your boy Matt Mike coming. Well, it's supposed to be Mad Mike in the morning, but I had to make adjustments for Jew Talk Sports. You guys did not check his show out. What's the word, Dirty Bird? And no, your eyes are not deceiving you. You are seeing one of the three original Atlanta Falcons content creators from the very beginning, Mad Mike and Smitty. Smitty from Smitty Sports Machines. What going on, Smitty?
Chilling, man, chilling. Can't call it.
So before I get into that, all right. So Lady Birds of AFN, all right. That's going to be tonight on AFN, 8 o'clock. They're going to talk about. They're going to give their recap on the Falcons Chief game. So if you do not know, now you know about those ladies. You got Miss Maggie, Kiki. If y'all don't know her, it's Lyric's mom. She's one of the biggest. I'm talking about biggest Atlanta Falcons fans. Everybody know her. Smitty know her. Everybody know her, man. Kiara, she's a good girl. We got some other few ladies. Whitney Jenkins. Obviously, she's one of the uh, uh, a member of the team, the Lady Birds. So many other Miss Pam, Auntie Pam. Everybody know her. She everywhere. Boy, when I tell you Miss Pam is everywhere, and that right there is one of the most beloved and loved Falcons fans there is, and we're happy to say that she's an affiliate of the Atlanta Falcons as well as a friend of Smitty and pretty much everybody in this Falcons community. Um, I don't want to miss anybody else. Asia. All right, I'm trying to go right off the top. We got so many of these ladies over here. Sandra, we got so many ladies. And forgive me if I'm missing your name, but um, so Smitty. All right, so I know people been wanting this for a minute. So this game, this past game with the Atlanta Falcons, okay, a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings in regards to whether or not the Falcons were cheated out of this game. The pass interference, that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, takeaway from a lot of people in regards to, whether or not they led to a loss. How do you feel about whether or not the Atlanta Falcons were cheated out of that game?
I don't feel like they were cheated, but I do feel like a lot of calls could have went their way. As far as the pass interference, it was blatant. It was right there. Referee was right there. Should have been called. But at the same time, I looked at it another way. I kept, I looked over the game. Kirk Cousins could have threw that ball a little bit better, threw it a little bit higher. He's 6'6". So you got to throw it out of range of the defensive backs. But you saw the way he hugged his man waist like he was trying to slow dance. But
Mm-hmm.
I just think in that aspect, after something like that happened, that should vamp you up to play even more. So they were cheated out of a lot of calls because I seen a lot of holding. They had a rookie left tackle, so he was holding Matthew Judon a lot. But I just don't think, honestly, they just could have executed better because you saw the fumbles. You saw the interception that he threw. That's the third interception this year he's thrown. Was he under duress where he should have ate the ball and took the sack and lived to fight another day? But again, he's trying to make plays, and I get that. But there were a lot of questionable calls, but at the same time, you still had a chance to win the game at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, yeah, you still had a chance.
You kind of stated that last night with your conversation, Berto. Um, you got Chris that was there, Jew Talk Sports, and y'all kind of stated that uh, the ball placement again with Kirk Cousins. That's something that K Styles even talked about the ball placement, and I think that's
Yeah.
one of the things when you look at Kyle Pitts, a guy that's 6'6", 200, and what 240, 50 pounds. That dude's a big dude. So when you have a guy that big, and I remember conversations going back and looking at a guy like Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez always would tell him, throw to the top of the pylon, throw right the goalpost. Just throw it up high. I'll go get it. And I think
Basketball
that's the
skills.
adjustment. That's the
Mhm.
adjustment that we always talk about when we talk about quarterback and receiver. You can practice all day, all practice with that, all preseason. But those are the types of things that take time to develop as far as the chemistry is concerned. So the question I have for you is,
But do you think it's chemistry? Because I mean it is chemistry,
mhm,
but being in the league 12 seasons, I feel like he should have already adjusted to it being in a similar system he was in Minnesota. Um, what is his name? T.J. Hawkinson. That was his
Hawkinson,
favorite receiver. That was his favorite
Reed
receiver
when
in
he was in
Minnesota.
Washington, also the big tight end.
So, right,
Yeah,
right,
Jordan
right,
Reed.
right. So I feel like as far as being acclimated to tight ends, I feel like he should be able to adjust a little bit easier since that's his safety blanket.
Mhm,
And I spoke about this last night as well. Um, who are you going to build an offense around? You're going to build around Bijan. You're going to build around Kyle Pitts. And there's no
mhm,
disrespect to Drake London, but those two are the freaks of nature that could change the game. So which one are you going to build it around? And if you're going to build it around Kyle Pitts, you have to give him the ball more. You saw the 50-yard pass that they threw last week. I feel like they could have made two or three more passes like that during the game. So it's really all about who you're going to build the offense around. If they figure that part out, I think the rest will fall in place.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I made a video obviously this year, and I've stated if the Atlanta Falcons are going to be a top offensive team this year, and they're going to make a push to be Super Bowl contenders, I think everything really evolves around Kyle Pitts, because if
Right.
he becomes the weapon that we all believe that he can, um, it's going to open up so much, especially for guys like Bijan and Tyler Algier. So the question that you stated, who are you going to build the offense around? My my thing is, I think they've already made that decision. I think they've already made that decision. You look at you bringing in a guy like Mooney, you bringing in other guys, um, Ray McLeod, and then you have a young Drake London. Like at this
Right.
point, Kyle Pitts is I it's still a huge question mark on whether I want to pay him the big money. And it's something that you
Yeah,
stated
we touched
also
on that
last
last
night.
night.
So yeah,
Yeah.
y'all talked about that last night. And the thing is, man, do you want to give him top dollar if you're not giving him the ball? So if he's not getting the ball, then I just got to be real, man. It's like if you're not giving him the ball, what's the point of giving him top dollar?
Yeah, and I said that last year, man. I was like, at the middle of last year, what we're gonna do with Kyle Pitts next year? Because as you looked at it, after the injury, he missed a good little bit of time, but then he come in next year. I'm sorry, last year at
Hmm.
about 75, 80%. He wasn't 100%. So at the trade deadline this year, and I said this last night, at the trade deadline this year, depending on where he is stat wise, and if you feel like he's fitting this system, you got to think about moving him. And whatever you get for him, you can replace him with that. Because we all know, just like wide receivers, and you and I've talked about this a lot, it's a replenishable position. And you can go out and find a tight end and get 50, 60 catches. They can be a fourth
Hmm.
or fifth round pick. So that's something that they actually got to think about this year because I think top dollar for a tight end is going to be anywhere from 13 to $16 million. And knowing that he's not going to put up those kind of numbers that garnish that kind of money, I just don't see it. And I threw out a trade idea. I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott needs another weapon, mainly a tight end. Michael Parsons is not happy. He's on a $5.4 million salary this year, and you can worry about paying him next year when you get a couple contracts off the book and restructure a couple contracts to pay him. That's one guy I could see them going after this offseason, if not at the trade deadline. So that would be a even swap if they throw in probably a fourth or fifth round pick or a second round pick down the road in 2026. But it's definitely a move I would think about trying to make.
Yeah. There was actually a guy that I wanted in this draft, and one of the major reasons why I was so upset with the pick in the beginning is if you were going to pay give Kirk Cousins $40 million, um, what's the point of drafting a quarterback, in my opinion? Now, he could very well be a pretty good pick, but we don't know. But I think if you look at it this year, we don't know whether or not, um, and this is a talking point. Like, what did we waste a first round pick? Because our first
Hmm.
round pick is not here. He's not playing. He's not on the field. So, what's the
First of all,
benefit of bringing him?
before we get to that, who would your guy?
It was Brock Bowers because I thought that having a
Wow.
Kyle Pitts and
Hold
Brock
on,
Bowers
hold up.
would have been sick. I thought that would have been
Wow,
sick.
that's a good idea, but I don't think picking a quarterback was a mistake because if you look at what we've had the last 2 seasons, that shit kind of tough because
Mhm,
quarterback play. Marcus Mariota hitting breakdances in the middle of Carolina flow. Then you had Desmond really turning the ball 3 times in one game, and they still win the game somehow. And it seems
mhm,
like he just wasn't gradually growing. So you got to take a quarterback. I mean, Carson Beck is coming out this year, but if you plan on
mhm,
being a winning organization, like they said, you're not going to be that high in the draft no more. You
mhm,
won't be able to make that Julio Jones type trade anymore. Well, should I say Patrick Mahomes?
mhm.
Because Kansas City moved all the way from the bottom of the first to the top 10 to take him, and I don't see the Falcons doing that. So you got to take a quarterback, and I get what you're saying about an edge rusher because we need an edge rusher. We do have Judon, who I think we're going to resign for a should I say discounted rate because of age. But you still need a young guy. And if we draft in the 20s this year, I could see them trading back to get a couple of those picks back, but they still could bring in an edge rusher. However, you do have a Brandon Dorless and a Zach Harrison, depends on how he grows because the first 3 games he's been very disappointing. So
He hasn't been playing. He hasn't been playing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember him being on the field like, and that's one of the
yeah,
talking
he's
points
he's he's
also.
been playing outside and inside. They've been playing more at defensive tackle, to be honest, and he's not fit for that. So yeah, you got to have an edge rusher, but going into next year, man, depending on what we look like defensively, and if we resign Judon, depending on how on the Ebiketie plays this year, they could take a defensive end maybe in the bottom of the first, top of the second, depending on where they finish. But I actually like Dallas Turner myself, but at the same time, you got to think about that quarterback position because it's the most important position in sports. And we know Kirk Cousins, 36 years old, coming off of Achilles, could get re-injured. Don't know. So you got to be safe. Got to be safe.
It was the right pick. It was the right pick, and I think that's the thing the way you're looking at it. You especially with so many quarterbacks, you have guys like Tua. You don't know what's going to happen with Tua and whether or not he's going to. He wants to return. It seems like, and then you have guys that have been a extreme disappointment. Guys like Trey Lance. For the most part, guys like Justin Fields, who's playing. He's playing decent. I mean, he's winning games. He's not losing games for him. And he's
I'm
learning the
glad you
small
said.
intricate
I'm
details.
I'm glad you said that because
Mhm.
Arthur Smith should feel like an ass. And the reason why I say that,
I
I don't
already
think
know
he.
where you going. I know
I
where
don't.
you about to go.
I don't think he wanted Justin Fields in Atlanta, and that's why we didn't take him. But look at what he's doing in Pittsburgh. Same system. Justin Fields. Hey, look, he fits it perfect. And now I think Arthur Smith cost himself a job after looking at that because the run game was there, quarterback play was inconsistent. We did have weapons at receiver at tight end, but at the same time, if you're not consistent with your play calling and in rhythm, shit like that gonna happen. So
hmm
he screwed himself with not taking him.
Yeah, I think he screwed himself. The thing with Arthur Smith, man, that really frustrated me looking at him is the fact that like I personally believe he just screwed Desmond Ritter by not properly doing the things that he was good at. Like we know Desmond Ritter never gonna be a Matt Ryan. We know for the most part he's never gonna be a top quarterback. But you see again. what he's doing with a young guy like Justin Fields, who has the opportunity to kind of resurrect his career. And I actually made a video on how he's being used properly. And I've been saying this for a few years. Don't use him as a mobile quarterback because you're not helping him improve as a quarterback. It's about improving as a quarterback. Those skills, those mobile skills are always going to be there. So when you give an opportunity to check the ball down, be safe, he gains more and more confidence. And anytime you got a young quarterback that gains more and more confidence,
Right.
he's gonna play. He's gonna start playing much better. And look, as much as I want to be honest about this about Russell Wilson, if they keep winning like this, he's not getting that damn job back.
Now
He's
he'll be
not getting
traded
that.
at the deadline to who I don't. He may be Miami, but I could see him being moved at the deadline if he's not. If Justin Fields is the quarterback going forward, they can go out and sign a backup. You know, it's still
Mhm.
Ryan Tannehill is still out there, so it's a backup out there. So I could see them moving on from Russell Wilson, and he might not even play a game in Pittsburgh. So we'll see.
Mhm. So here's a question from Berto. He said, "Why is the offense not featuring Tyler Algier enough? Do you think
Now that's a
Bijan is
damn good
being
question.
overused?"
That's a damn good question. Um, he's being overused a little bit, but I feel like they should have featured more two back sets. And what I mean by that, you know, be creative. Um, put Bijan in the slot, let him run some routes. And I think this week against the Saints, Bijan will be great in the passing game because you got to find a way to take the Mario Davis out the game, get him off the line of scrimmage. And what better way to do it than to use Bijan? So I think they're overusing him just a little bit, but I also think that Tyler Algier needs to be more of a goal line guy because I
Mhm.
feel like that final play against the Chiefs, that should have been Tyler Algier. And I feel like if they did a play action or either ran a misdirection, they easily get that first down. So yeah, they definitely have to feature him just a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, and there's a conversation that we actually had also behind the scenes is I the thing with Bijan Robinson that is so unique in this instance is that he's such a great receiver and he's such a big time playmaker and he causes defense to do because you saw on the touchdown to Drake London. They bit they sold out on Bijan and he ended up being wide open. So the thing is you're going to have to find a way to kind of utilize those guys in the same formation at the same on the field at the same time. And I think that's the
Right.
thing. So Bijan, in my opinion, has to get in. He got to start reaching out to guys like To. He need to reach out to a wide receiver so he can run those routes a lot better because he's going to be a problem. The Falcons offense is going to be a problem if he continues to be that receiver that we know he can be. Because Tyler Algier, yeah, we do know he can catch the ball, but he doesn't have that explosiveness that Bijan has. But
Right.
when you put him between those tackles, when you put him, he punishes defense. So that's the thing, man. I
Very good
would hate
example.
to be in his. I would hate to be in Zach Robinson's shoes because I really don't know how you're going to feature both of those good backs.
Right. And that's a perfect point because as I said, in week 1 and 2, Algier should have been the featured guy to wear down those defenses. See, you just gotta know how what fits what. Just like going into New Orleans, they're a little bit more should I say a little bit more athletic up front. So you use Bijan. So now going against the Saints as well, on offense, um their defensive line, I'm sorry, offensive line is banged up. Gotta use your boy Judon. So
Mm-hmm,
it's just all about how you game plan. And when they
mm-hmm,
learn how to game plan for whatever team we're playing that week, oh, it's gonna be hell on wheels.
mm-hmm. So
So
we got Christy with a $5 holla. Thank you, Christy. Splitting my
Christy,
lunch money with the fire
she done
conversation.
gave me a lunch money. She done
Hey,
gave me a
hey,
nickname and a lunch money. Come on now.
hey, man, we appreciate it. Like I said, man. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. We was gonna get this. We were gonna get this done. Yeah, so I have a couple more comes questions here. Yeah, this question right here. So what's the point of driving Rook and Doyless just to play
I knew that
Bertrand?
question was coming. I knew it, man. Ah, you want me to start? I start.
I'll start it. I already look. I talked about this earlier. Look, I don't think it's a bad idea to have these young guys sitting down. The reason being is because I think we have a good defensive line already. So as the season goes on, the wear and tear in these veterans are going to be huge. We are already seeing guys
Facts.
like Caleb McGarry is going down. So when you have the young guys that are fresh around 8,
Yep.
10, 12, week 12, look, they're going to be ready to go. So you're going to have two big animals in the middle of your defensive line, they
Right.
fresh. So I actually like what they're doing. It like, look, for real, like the Falcons have opportunity to bring in other defensive linemen. Let's just say if it look, let's just say it doesn't work out with Kyle Pitts. They'll be able to use Kyle Pitts money, which is going to be around 15, $20 million because he's a weapon and you kind of have to take that in consideration. If they
Right.
do not want to give him that fifth year option, which they have, but like if you want to continue, if you want to give him a second contract, trade him, whatever you want to do, you can use his money to bring in another edge guard defensive guy to go along with these young guys. So you got Judon. I think Judon is they're going to extend him because I like the way he's been playing. But I don't think it's a bad idea. What do you think about
I definitely agree with you 100% because I said that too. But this is the perfect week as I look at it. As I just said about the offensive line of the Eagles and the Steelers. Now you go back to the other side of the ball. Um, you look at the who we playing the Saints.
it?
They're not as big up front on the offensive line. So now you bring in a young guy to get them some work. Bring in a Doris, bring in a Rookie, and you see what they can do because the more they hit the field with these veterans, the more they're going to learn. The easier their transition is going to be, and they're going to take somebody's job. Because I'm looking at Taquan Graham and Zach Harrison, who I talked about earlier. With those two young guys, those are the two guys that they drafted just in case Taquan Graham doesn't end up here next year and sign another deal, or who was that other guy? Zach Harrison, depending on how he develops this year. Because both of those guys are 3-4 ends and tackles. They're versatile. So this is the week that I think we see those guys with a much smaller Saints offensive line.
So another defensive question, and oh boy, they coming with them now. Do you think we should have got
I knew that
Jalen
was coming
Carter
too.
instead of Bijan? Take everything into consideration. I don't think Jalen. Did we? What Jalen? I think that was Jordan Davis he was in the same draft, right?
On board, Jalen was picked right after Bijan.
It- okay, so it was the same draft. I don't know why I'm thinking Jordan Davis. Who was the Jordan Davis?
That was we took Drake London.
Okay. All right. So it was all right. Hey man, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because the thing here with Jalen Carter, he has amazing talent, but he's a freaking hothead. Like when your coach can't calm you down on the sideline, that's a problem. I don't want to
Yeah.
pay guys that we can't control because he get money, he get paid. He ain't even got the big dollars yet, and he's already tricked.
You got to think about the off the field stuff too. He's still going through
Mm-hmm.
the legal stuff, with the accident with the college kid. So, he just has a lot of baggage. And I'm gonna think Bijan is the right pick because, as I said, think about how they built during that off season. They filled every position but running back. So it was written in the books, really. I would have took Bijan too because when have you seen the Falcons have a dynamic running back instead of a power back like a Michael
Mm-hmm.
Turner, Gerald Reyes, or William Andrews? So it was a change of pace, and to me, it was welcome. So now it's just all about putting it together.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
I would have took Bijan.
I gotta go with Bijan because, like I said, when you have a dynamic back like this, and you seeing it with Philly with Saquon Barkley now that he's healthy, the Giants look like they made a mistake because you pair Saquon Barkley with Malik Neighbors. That's a dynamic duo themselves. So it's like I think they made a mistake on it. Anytime you have a dynamic running back, man, you go all the way from guys like LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Falk, Joseph Adai, like these guys are dynamic backs. Like when you have these guys
But
that can run the ball and catch it out of the backfield, that's a
the
problem, man.
crazy, the crazy part about the whole thing though, they were going to take whoever we didn't take because
Yeah,
they actually wanted Bijan because they
yeah,
just lost Miles Sanders, so they wanted Bijan, and we took him, and then we take Jalen Carter. So either way, they were going to get one of those guys. So I think Bijan was the right pick because he doesn't fall past Philadelphia. I'm sorry, and they
yeah,
were the very next pick.
yeah. So yeah, what's the other question? No, we have another question here.
My boy Tonio, what's up, man? That's a
I
good
lost
question.
the question. I lost the question. All right, so there you go. Even if our defense is being solid, do you think there's another defense you would like to see to generate more pressure on the opposing QBs? I don't think we generate enough pressure.
Mm. So does he mean switching back to a 4-3? Is that what he's trying to say? Because if we do switch back to a 4-3, we have the talent to do that as well. But the only thing with that, we would switch down to three linebackers instead of four. And who do you take out? And can Arnold Ebiketie play in instead of outside linebacker? That would be the only question. So
Me and Eddie Kitty are not good friends right now. He's really pissed me off. That dude is so slow. I was like, he deliberately. I don't know if he
keeping
deliberately,
Caleb
but like
Garrett
he
in defense.
always take himself out of plays. Like, bro, just stay in your
Yeah,
spot. You will get
yeah,
sacks. He's so
yeah, he overran.
undisciplined.
Yeah, he overran Patrick Mahomes like 2 or 3 times last other night. So, whew, that's a great question, Tonio. But unless they bring somebody in, a bigger defensive end, sort of like what Ryan Nielsen wanted here, I could see them doing that. But they don't really have. Well, they can switch back, but can Ebiketie can well, I know Judon can, but Zach Harrison can he do it as well? So
Hmm.
I mean that's the only thing. If they don't have another end opposite of Judon, they can't do it. But
Yeah,
they could run a hybrid and find a way to do it. But hey, we'll see. Oh, hold on. Dorless could play defensive end. I mean,
I,
he's a little bit on the bigger side, but I think he can pull it off.
yeah. He's played a lot of. I think John, who's a Duck fan himself, even stating that he can play. He's an athletic guy, and I think we have a
Oh
guy. To
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
honest, I think Troy Anderson is a guy you can put him. You can train him up a little bit, man. He has the athleticism. He has the size. Because I don't
You gotta
think
put
he's
on
a
about
middle
15
linebacker.
pounds though. You had to put on about 15 pounds.
Yeah,
For
he's
Anderson.
look. That's the thing. Like T.J. Watt is not a big guy. He's not a big
Yeah,
guy
that's true.
also. So like I think he has the athleticism. Now I would put some I would definitely think about putting some weight on him. But I
But the
think
thing with Troy, Anderson, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he's a downhill guy. I think he's still struggling with that. So
so,
could you put that at defensive end? If he's still having problem going downhill, I mean he's good sideline to sideline, but going downhill, that's a problem for him still. So do
mhm.
you think he can transition to that?
Look, if you have the athleticism, man, I believe you can. And that's the thing with the outside linebacker because what can happen is you put a guy like Grady Jarrett on the same side as him, like he's going to eat up those double teams. Put Grady
Okay.
Jarrett, guys like Zach Harrison, who's still young, but I think Ellis will probably be the guy most likely you will put on the edge, and they've been using Ellis a lot on the edge.
Yeah.
But Troy, I don't know if it's inexperience. I think it's the inexperience because he hasn't played. He's been all over the place. Obviously he was a former quarterback and so many other positions in college, so he has the athleticism. And um I think he's one of those guys that's like Jude says, man. It's like
He need to
He,
go
he,
holler at
he
Chuck Smith then. If he
yeah,
really wants to
yeah,
play,
he
go
need to
holler at
holler
Chuck.
at Chuck, man. Shout out to Chuck. They're
Yeah.
doing his thing in Baltimore, man. Um, yeah, that's tough. I think the Falcons have a lot of guys at that linebacker position because even Bertrand, he's the one that he's actually played on the edge himself. So not only is a
Yeah.
middle linebacker, but he's plays on the edge himself. So that's an interesting
But
question. And shout out to
I think
Brian
eventually he
People for that.
takes eventually I think he takes Troy Anderson's spot. All you gotta do is give him time on the field. I think if he can mature in time, by the end of the season, he could be a middle one of the starters at middle linebacker because he flies all over the field. You saw it in preseason. So talk about tackling machine, he's one of those guys.
He is. He is. Um, Brian People, like I said, we appreciate it, man. The 4.99. My dog breaking it down. Appreciate it, Brian Peeps. Um, so this is the part of the conversation. Just to switch it just a little bit because I've been hearing a lot about the Atlanta Falcons secondary, and one of those guys in the secondary and the Alfred, I actually think he's been playing pretty well, especially in the slot. He's actually exceeded my expectations as far as how well he's been playing. And we have not seen a lot of Richie Grant. So Richie Grant being out of there, you
Thank
think
God.
he's done?
Do I think Richard Grant done?
He's done.
Uh, I don't think he's done. If he stays as a backup and they put him in certain packages, he'll be fine. I would love to see him play a little bit more in the slot and three safety set in the dime defense. Um, if he can do that, he does that very well. But you talk about him being in coverage, no. But you put him in the slot and have him going after the quarterback, sort of like Kamal Ishmael back in the day when he switched from safety to linebacker.
Yeah.
I can see that same type thing for Richard Grant, and I think he could excel at that.
Yeah, I believe so. And you got to keep in mind that the Falcons have another safety that's due to come back, and your boy, good gosh, um, Alabama safety. Why is the name? But God, Hitman Hills,
DeMarco Hellens.
Hitman Hills,
Yeah,
DeMarco
DeMarco
Hills. So
Hellens.
he's poised to come back. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with because he's not getting a lot of play right now, and if Helms comes back and they really want to put him in, that's a potential move for the Falcons to be able to possibly maybe get a pick, trade him for whatever or a potential guy to bring in because we don't know how long a guy like Caleb McGarry is going to be out with the sprained MCL. I think he's going to be close to a month or that concern. But the safety position, this is another question that I have for everybody, including you, Smitty. Do the Atlanta Falcons have the best safety tandem in the league?
Easily, 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 and they the one that single handedly made this defense better because quarterbacks and offensive coordinators know it's going to be hard to throw over the top, so they're keeping everything underneath. And as soon as and see, this is where I think Troy Anderson struggled just a little bit in coverage. I think him struggling in coverage hurt us just a little bit. But yeah, they definitely have the best safety duo in the league. And just like you said with DeMarco Hellens, just like Richie Grant, if they can use him in the slot and he can get after the quarterback, that's an extra piece to the puzzle that we could use going down, going towards the end of the season. So look, I'm telling you, Simmons, Bates, those guys easily are the best two safeties in the league. Easily. And there's no disrespect to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I love Butter Baker, but I'm just not taking nobody over those two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've actually been surprised about Simmons and his impact because when you look at this Falcons secondary, the first three games into it, teams have not been hitting them for big plays. They actually, I think they
Facts.
ranked seventh or tenth. I think they're tenth in and pass defense. So these guys are just not giving up big plays. And I know everybody wants. I made a video about whether or not I would pay AJ Terrell $20 million. I still hold to that. I wouldn't have paid him that money, but the fact that
Hey,
He's
what
one
I
of those
said,
guys. He's a cover
I
guy.
said,
He's a cover guy. He's not gonna get you interceptions. He's gonna tackle well. He's gonna be in the right position, and he's gonna hit you. So I don't think if you're looking at AJ to be an interception guy, the pick guy, you got the wrong guy. But like I said, is it worth it? I believe so because now you got three shutdown guys, man, and Simmons, Bates, and AJ. So what are your take on that?
yeah, I agree with that, man. I think AJ he would be a better safety than a cornerback, and I've been saying that for years. Um, but this helps AJ as well. He got somebody help him over the top, and that helps him in short space, and that helps him, help with the run game. So those two, man, they are just game changers. And AJ Terrell this year, hopefully he can get us some interception, but that really doesn't bother me as long as he's making plays, as long as they're not scoring. I don't care. He's got
Mm-hmm.
to learn to get his head around. He's still struggling with that.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's fine.
Yeah, I believe so. Shout out to Ant. Appreciate you for the 4.99. Let's see y'all make this happen. It's fantastic. Two Giants and five content creator space. Like I said, man, this was gonna happen over time. So we
Yeah.
got it. We got it done. Uh, and look, y'all gonna start seeing this a whole lot more often. So don't worry about that. So um also, you got something coming up too tonight, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
NFC South Roundtable, man. We're gonna have a blast tonight. Trash talking between Panther Saints, Bucks fans. The chat be lit, man. We got I think 8,000 views last week.
Mm-hmm.
Over 300 some people in the chat at one time, maybe 400. So man, if y'all ain't busy tonight at 7 o'clock, come through the NFC South Roundtable. It's trash talking at its finest. And tomorrow night is gonna be a Saints Super Show. So Saints and Falcon fans, Saints podcasters, we're just gonna have a great time, man. It's just gonna be a big Mardi Gras in Atlanta.
Yeah, we actually have the Saints podcaster from Locked On Podcast. We're gonna have him on the Heavy Hitters Live channel. So if you guys are not subscribed to the Heavy Hitters Live channel, check out myself, Jew Talk Sports, Dunn, Six Man K Styles. We're gonna have them come on and talk some Saints football because this is
Yeah,
about to be heated this
just
big
make
week.
sure y'all give them hell. That's all I got to tell you,
Oh,
cause
oh, 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 oh,
them
oh, oh! Look,
motherfucker
it's
boys,
Mad Mike here. You know it. You know that's
they
coming.
ruthless. Them motherfucker ruthless.
Look, I could be just as ruthless, if not more. All right, look, they don't call me Senator Palpatine for no reason. Um, you guys got any more questions, man? You don't see anything, Smitty, do you, that you want to talk about?
Let me see. Just a quick question for you.
Mhm.
How do you think Jimmy Lake is adjusting to his role as defensive coordinator?
I don't like what I'm saying. It's too conservative for me. Nah, I thought that was a punk ass. I thought that was a punk bitch ass game plan. I know it's Patrick Mahomes. That shit was scary as fuck. We fucking excuse me, y'all, but let me go off on a tangent because this is something that I was gonna talk about on Six Man Show. That shit pissed me off. We
Go
30
ahead.
fucking 37. You 12 yards away, giving up the first down freely, and he end up scoring any damn way. Juju Smith, are you freaking serious?
Yeah,
It's
we saw that
37,
story before. We saw that
and he
story before.
scored anyway. Are you freaking kidding me, bro? It like, look, I know Patrick Mahomes has that, or I know he's that damn good, but we got to go after him. And I think that was a punk ass game plan. I don't know if it was Raheem. I don't know if it was Jimmy Lake, but I didn't like what I saw.
I know it wasn't Jerry Gray because Jerry Gray wouldn't have done that
He
shit.
wouldn't have done that. That really pissed me off. Me and K Styles, oh boy, that really pissed me off. And like I said, I understand if
Doesn't that
you're in the
remind
middle
you
of
of
the
Dan
field.
Quinn though? Doesn't that remind you of Dan Quinn when he was
Yes,
doing that shit?
that's the reason why. Google it. See, this is the reason why. People were so mad at me when I said I
Oh,
want Bill Belichick, and the reason why I wanted Bill Belichick is because I know he's not. He had the resume of winning. I know he's going to build us great defense. That's what I was most concerned of. But one of the reasons why I was concerned about Raheem, and he's proven me wrong. He's proven me wrong. But again, it's these instances where we see those Dan Quinn tendencies were playing that I don't know if
dime
go
defense.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I don't
dime defense. That's what
I
it
don't
is.
like that defense. I hate that defense.
Yeah, I thought about that too because them playing off the line before that touchdown, that was some bullshit for real. Ain't no way in the hell they should have scored right there. And you been stopping them the whole game. Come on now.
That man down there walked into the end zone
Oh
without
yeah, that,
nobody touching him. Are you freaking
everybody
serious?
really, everybody who know football knew that that rub route was coming sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
And he was setting them up all first half with them short pass, them dinking dunks. Just so the second half he could just say, "Look, I'm finna start going downfield. Y'all just be ready." So
That yeah. I look. It's growing pains, and so far they're so good. So I'm not saying that he needs
oh
to
yeah,
fire,
oh
but
yeah.
like he just I don't like seeing that. That's the only negative that I've seen so far with this defense. So far, these guys they get the ball, they get turnovers. Um, Obviously we always need to get more sacks, but when you got a guy like Patrick Mahomes, man, that dude ain't go look. He's smart. He's not gonna let you. He's not gonna let you hit him too, and that's a big dude. I don't think people realize how big he is.
Oh
He's not
yeah,
going down easily.
yeah. And then man, look, woo, man, they got to do better. Got to do better.
Mm-hmm. So one more question. One more question, then we're gonna kind of wind it down. Um, Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna go back to that because I saw your take with Kyle Pitts on him needing to get the ball more. So, do you think? And I thought you spoke on this also on his live just a few moments ago, about an hour ago. So you guys have not seen What's the Word, Dirty Bird. He actually talked about this also. So, do you think the Falcons? And we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but do you personally believe that they should build a team around Kyle Pitts? And does he need to be the featured receiver for this team?
Yeah, I've been saying that for 2 years, Mike. Um, and you talk about what they have now with a true quarterback. You have a guy like that can open up the middle of the field. That that's good for everybody because guess what? The run game is going to start working. Play action is going to start working, and this offense is going to flow more freely. So you absolutely have to make Kyle Pitts the focal point. There's no if, ands, or but about it. And until they do that, they're gonna still struggle and with execution. They're gonna struggle with scheming for teams. And even though they slowed down the zone run, the outside run last week, the play action still worked good. So imagine if you get Kyle Pitts going that play action and that run game opened up, and this offense becomes more explosive. It's gonna all be because of Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
So why they drafted him fourth overall to be the focal point of this offense, but it's up to them to make up their mind what they want to do, and that's on Zach Robinson.
That's the thing. I don't know if they have a clear vision of who they want to build around. I think they know what they want to do offensively, but you have to pick and because the thing is, Kurt is here maybe 1 or 2 years. I don't see him coming back the third year. I
Agreed.
just think I think Penix is just too good of a prospect to just have him sitting for 3 years. So I actually think this is going to be a 2 year deal for Kirk Cousins. So
And it's funny you say that because I just feel like, and I don't want to start nothing, but it's just me and it's just my opinion. I feel like a lot of those throws, Michael Penix would take more downfield. I just see it because I saw it in that one game against Miami. He just was not phased. And he stands in the pocket longer. He can move around a little bit better. So I could see them being even more explosive offense up under him. One, because of arm strength. Two, because of his mental approach. So the future is bright, man. It's just up to them what they want to do, just like I said.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. And shoot, since they want to know about the sites real quick, let's get in one key because I know you're gonna have a show to break that down as well as myself.
Yeah, I'll
Jew Talk
probably be
Sports
dropping
on
that
it.
today. Yeah.
So just
Three
give
keys to recap.
one thing. Just give one key that you expect, or one thing you expect the Falcons to do against the Saints.
Pound the ball down their throat. That's gonna be a key to victory for me until uh, they become consistent with it. Because I feel like against the Eagles, those goal line plays that they had, they should have just kept running the football. Eagles would stop it. So I feel like the Saints with a smaller front, a smaller defensive front, they will be able to run the ball. You saw Bijan have a decent game last year in New Orleans, even though we got blown out at the end. The first half, Bijan had a
Mhm,
pretty good game. So
mhm,
him and Algier have to be the focal point against the Saints. So run the football, smash it down their throat, and let them prove they can stop it. Because if they can't stop it, and Demario Davis gets caught on that line, guess what? We're going right downfield to Kyle Pitts, Drake London, even Darnell Mooney. So just run the football down their throat, man. Hit them in the mouth.
Yeah, I agree. I think in this game, I still don't trust the Saints linebackers. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna say this again, man. Kyle Pitts, you got to feature him. I you saw Dallas Goddard. You talked about this also. Goddard was pretty much. I think he had 100 yards receiving. He had a big play. I just don't believe in they linebackers. Their linebackers are not cover linebackers that can be taken advantage of. Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback as far as play action is concerned. You saw him make a couple of plays. You saw him make the big play to Kyle Pitts on the sideline. So it's there. The opportunities will be there against the Saints. So I think they really have to make sure that Kyle Pitts and the running backs are the focal point of this game. And like I
And
said, this
that's
is a
crazy
division
because
game.
I said the exact same thing last week against the Chiefs. The exact
Hmm.
same thing. So you play these teams with these weak linebacker core that can't cover, they just downhill guys. You got to take advantage of that. You got to.
Hmm.
Whether you putting Kyle on one or Bijan on one, just take advantage of it because those are two athletes that you got to get the ball to.
Hmm. All right, so that concludes this show, man. I'm hungry. I have not had anything to eat, so I appreciate you coming on, Smitty. Like I said, this is
No doubt.
just one of many shows that's going to continue to. And like I said, man, we doing this for the people. We doing this for the Falcons fans who not only enjoy Smitty's channel, but enjoy AFN and everybody that's affiliated with both sides. So this is one of many. You guys going to continue to support. Hit that subscribe button not only here on Mad Mike Sports Atlanta Falcons Nation, but Smitty, go ahead and tell people what's left for you for today.
Yeah, NFC South Roundtable at 7 p.m. Man, dropping a video a little later. 3 keys to victory. So I'm just taking it light today, but tomorrow, man, Falcon Saint Super Show, 8 p.m. Y'all bring y'all wallets, y'all bring y'all beer, cause we gonna party and we gonna have a good time.
Hit the super chats. Like I said, man, look, we have a educator fund. So basically, what AFN does is every super chat that you guys contribute to not only Mad Mike Sports, but every affiliate, whether it's Six Man, K Style, Jew Talk Sports, like we are giving back to the educators who come out of their pockets. Okay, they come out of their pockets to help our kids, help our children, to receive not only
Nothing
the
wrong
the,
with that.
the best education, but our kids don't have much to eat. And I don't think people, especially with damn food and prices going up right now, goddamn, look,
Boy,
man. Get somebody a damn donut for $5 or something. All right, buy a kid a donut for the day. Okay, donut for the day. So everything that you guys not only donate to Mad Mike Sports, and I gotta give a shout out to someone who actually um, donated to the channel right now, and I truly appreciate this. And I want to get his name right. So here we go. Come on, internet. Come on, come on, come on. So we have Dex. All right. We appreciate it. Dex Diggs.
That's my
We
dude.
truly appreciate, yeah,
Yeah,
Dex
that's
Diggs
cool dude,
for
man.
supporting the AFN Educator Fund. Every dollar is going to go into helping our kids, our educator as well. Like I said, Jew Talks Sports. His wife is an educator. She's a teacher herself. So, look, man, truly appreciate it. Like I said, you guys hit that subscribe button here. Almost at 1K, 1K, 10K. Here at Mad Mike Sports.
Gonna
Headed to
have that
two.
super show, man. Gonna have that
Yeah,
super
we're
show.
gonna have the super show. We're gonna have the super show. Like I said, it got Mad Mike Network. That's at about 1500 hit to 1600. But it's all because of y'all. So continue to support your boy. We're gonna continue to talk all Falcon sports again tonight. The Lady Birds of AFN. They're gonna give their takes, and I promise you, you don't. It's gonna be heated. This look, you know how these ladies is. Look, they real. Ain't that right, Auntie Pam? Christy, like Christy's on there too. I'm so sorry, Christy. I knew I was. Oh my God, she gonna kill me. I
Yeah,
appreciate Christy.
she
She
just
she
shout
was
you
on
out.
too.
She gonna clothesline your ass. She been
Oh,
shouting you
I
out the
know, I
whole
know.
time.
I knew I was. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. That's why I had to apologize. I'm so sorry, Christian, because this is my homegirl right here. She is one of the greatest. I'm talking about one of the greatest people I ever. There is, man. So
If
I
I get
truly
another
appreciate
nickname though,
Chris.
I'ma snap. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick to smooth TMZ. I'm gonna stick with that.
Hey man. Hey man, we appreciate it. Like I said, I'm so sorry, Chrissy. Look, I'm gonna send you some flowers or something, goddamn, because I know you're gonna kill me. But like I said, the ladies of AFN, they're gonna get that tape um tonight, 8 o'clock. Miss Maggie, Christy, Pam, Whitney, Whitney, Asia. We truly appreciate it. With that being said, I'm out of here. I'm hungry. Um, I'm gone, man. Appreciate it. That's all I got to say about that. Peace.